Hello and welcome on in, everybody. It is ISRC back again for another episode of Zero Hour, where I go over all the Transformers news I find interesting within a week in about an hour or so. Sometimes later, sometimes quicker. I think tonight we're going to be in the latter because, man, SDCC this year got a lot of good stuff. I was not expecting as much as we got from SDCC, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised by all the reveals. Just, I think Hasbro did a really good job keeping a lot of this stuff under wraps. You know, the past couple of years, they've been subject to so many leaks, and it was nice to have a whole bunch of stuff that just genuinely surprised me. A couple things that I wish happened or were announced that we didn't get. We'll get into that as we go through the show. If you are watching me here live on YouTube, well, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody that tunes in every week. Love having people in. We've got the live chat over there. I already see some folks hanging out in the audience, and I'll be shouting you guys out throughout the course of the show, making you part of the conversation, because I really want to know, what did you guys think about these reveals? And I just really love making the chat part of the discourse. So if you're watching me here live, don't be shy. Pop into that chat over there. I'll be highlighting your comments throughout the course of the show and making you part of the conversation. Also, if you like what I'm doing over here, make sure you smack that like button, because it helps me out in the algorithm, trying to grow and expand the channel. I would absolutely love to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. I'd probably need to get something viral going for that to happen. But, you know, I really just love doing this and love hanging out with everybody. So, you know, it's one of those is what it is things. I'd love to make it happen. But if it doesn't, you know, still be a friend, tell a friend if you like what I'm doing over here. And if you are new to the channel, welcome on in. And hopefully tonight is the night that I earn your subscription. And yeah, I did put up a video over the course of the weekend. So I got a surprise package in from my good buddy Lance. And if you head over, if you wanted some additional content, if you haven't watched already, if you head over to the main YouTube page, it's right there. The mystery box. This was a fun one. And I will spoil this a little bit, because, you know, this is going to go into figure of the week territory here. So, yeah, if you haven't watched it, I think my reaction was pretty fun, because I was expecting this to be something entirely different than what it was. Yeah, I'm pretty speechless. I actually almost shed a tear in that video. So huge shout out to Lance. Really, really appreciate what he sent over. And that's going to take me into this week's. So this week's figure of the week is, yeah, I'm going to spoil what was in the mystery box, because I got a grail. I got an absolute grail. So if you watch the unboxing, and, you know, again, I still think the unboxing is a fun video. It's 7 minutes long. If anything, just go over and see my reaction, because I thought it was funny going back and watching myself. Lance and I, we've done the Armada tier lists and all, and he's coming to stay with my wife and I at the end of August. It's crazy to think that we're almost at the end of July, but yeah, he'll be staying with us at the end of August, and I'm doing another meetup. So if you're in the DMV area or Pennsylvania, we'll be meeting up again at Bar Louie in White Marsh, Maryland, and that's going to be a little more than a month from now. So Saturday, August 30th at 11 a.m. So yeah, I'll be taking Lance to a local meetup, and should be a good time. I'll have T-Man there. I think Bolt Matrix will be there, trying to get, you know, some of the locals there. But if you're in the area, don't be shy. It's a good time. Hang out for, like, you know, 4 to 5 hours, get some drinks. It's a really good experience. So now that I've rambled, let's get into the figure of the week. And boy, oh boy, yeah, it is Galaxy Convoy. This is the OG original Galaxy Convoy. I could not believe it when I opened this up. Lance sent me a complete in box. It was taped too. It had batteries, and the batteries still work. I had to check the batteries still. I don't know how well you can hear that, but yeah, all the electronics are still functional. Just incredible stuff. This was a figure that I lost in the Purge in 2010. So, long and short was I moved out. I had a falling out with my biological mother. I was kind of bounced back and forth between my biological mother and my grandparents. And I had some stuff in storage. We had a falling out after my grandfather passed, and all of my original G1s, Beast Wars, 07 movie figures, a lot of my animated, a lot of my Chug that I had just in storage over there, stuff that I couldn't take with me to my first place, she just tossed. And this was unfortunately a figure I didn't take with me. I took MPO1, I took Revenge of the Fallen Optimus, because I did really like that figure. It was still relatively new in 2010, early 2010. I took stuff that was kind of like relevant that I was messing with. I wasn't planning on losing anything. It was just kind of nasty. It's unfortunate. And this was like, I beat myself up so much for not taking this figure with me. It's one of the ones that I was really sad that I lost. I've replaced some of the ones that I missed. I replaced Big Convoy. That was one that I really loved. I replaced Super Fire Convoy, and but this was one that just really evaded me. I mean, I'm not so concerned with replacing Armada Prime since I've got the Fans Hobby and the new Commander class one, but they did the Siege version of Galaxy Convoy, or Cybertron Prime, depending on what you want to call him, but he just didn't live up. And yeah, this guy doesn't have ankle pivots, but I don't care. This is a Grail figure. This is like an S tier figure. I've been kind of messing with this nonstop, and it blows my mind having a new one. Like, everything on this guy is like super tight and pristine, and this is just a Grail in my collection. And God, it's just like everything about it. The super mode looks amazing. For his time, he was amazing. He was the first Optimus. Now, I know Big Convoy had a removable matrix, and I think Lio Convoy was the first one to actually have a sculpted in matrix that you could reveal. But the cool thing is that, like, with Galaxy Convoy, he had a removable matrix, and he had articulated hands. He could actually hold the matrix, and just this guy just oozes. He's just such an awesome character design. I love the fact that he's got like the retractable mouth plate. This was like the first time we ever had that like gimmick in there, and with it up or down, the head can still rotate, which is just amazing. The transformation's simple and fun. The plastic on him's amazing. I really can't thank Lance enough for this, and it's just so cool having this back in my collection after 15 years. So this is just not only figure of the week, but just this is one of the grails of my collection. So really happy to have this. I can't thank Lance enough. I got to figure a way to pay him back for this, because I was absolutely happy when I opened it up. So even though I spoiled the video, I still think it's worth watching, because like you said, I thought it was a gag. I thought it was going to be Armada Scavenger or Armada Sideswipe. And then when I saw it was. So Lance, thank you so much. That meant the world to me, getting that figure back in my collection. So yeah, let's catch up with chat, see how everybody's doing. Again, if you're watching me here and you're new, pop one in, because it's always a good time chatting with everybody. We got my buddy Sandro Franco coming in saying, "Howdy, Pool Man. May the brisket be with you." It's been a minute since I did. I don't think I've done a brisket since Easter. I need to do one. I actually have some Franklin barbecue brisket rub. So if you don't follow me over on X, you should. I do post some of my cooking over there. I did some beef ribs the other day, and they were chef's kiss fantastic. I had to do those out in the rain too. I got it wasn't supposed to rain until 2, and it started early. So I was out like under an umbrella with my kettle grill. And it was Sunday. So I did Gronking after that, the Gronking on Dogs podcast. I there's a running gag there because I bitch about my pool a lot. And so I showed them the Ring camera footage of my grill under the umbrella from the pool cam. And Lethal was like, oh, of course you have a pool cam. We got ACHHK in here saying salute to the host of chat. Salute to you, good sir. I hope you're doing well. We got Mario Roca coming in saying hi, Extra Zero, and also saying SDCC just happened, and so much that happened. Yes, we'll be covering it all. We got so much stuff to talk about. We got Zeta TF coming in saying howdy. Good to see you. And Sandro saying that you're happier in that video than Moses when LTM shows up with the booster box of Pokemon cards. Again, another insider joke from the Grunking on Dogs podcast. Check my link in the description below. You'll get the actually the link tree is on my YouTube. If you're into gaming content, we have a lot of fun over on that channel. Mario is saying that he is still waiting for the opportunity to get Age of the Primes Megatronus for its original price for $54 on Amazon. However, it's going for $78. Ooh, I wonder if Hasbro Pulse has it. We got Sabertron Toys saying, what's up, Extra Zero? Good to see you, Sabertron. We got Gravy D hanging out saying, Maz is going to take a crap in my pool. Oh, and howdy. And yes, I do agree. There is nothing better than eating homemade cooked meats. I'm also on a keto diet. I do carnivore. I don't do Lion's diet, but I eat a lot of meat in my diet. And I've got a cosplay that I'm putting together for Baltimore Comic-Con that I think is going to turn out really good. So I'm excited to debut that cosplay. I might do something here. I probably will do a video when we get to Baltimore Comic-Con, a little bit of a toy hunt video. Trying to get T-Man to go. I think he's up on the fence because he just doesn't like the fact you have to spend so much to go in and spend more money. But I just kind of want to go for the opportunity to go and do a cosplay and hang out and just walk around. I probably won't buy anything. And ACHHK says Megatronus is sold out on Pulse. I hope that they reissue. The thing about the leaders anymore, it's really a game of patience saves pockets, especially when we're now seeing that even though they just did G2 Grimlock, they're going back and reissuing the Studio Series Grimlock. I mean, Megatronus is, just such a fan favorite character. It kind of baffles me that we didn't see more of those show up in Target and Walmart. The way that the first wave of Age of the Primes did, and we've seen the Voyagers replenished. I've seen plenty of Red Alert and Prima Prime, so hopefully we get that, because that's an amazing figure and it needs to find its way into the hands of plenty of collectors. Got Princeton showing up. Good to see you. Hello, good sir. And Sabertron saying, I'm also on keto, intermittent fasting, lots of meat and greens, feel incredible. I don't do keto, I do carnivore, so I just mostly eat meats and a bit of dairy. I feel incredible. I dropped about 80 pounds since 2023. In fact, tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of me starting the diet. It's a pretty insane transformation, but I feel great. I don't feel my age. I do intermittent fasting, where I do OMAD. Though lately I've been not eating enough doing OMAD, so I find myself doing kind of an 16-8. But man, I feel great. It's just an awesome feeling, and I just have way more energy than I did in previous years. And I've just been making gains and staying in shape and just feeling good in general. So good stuff there. We do got some fun news. Yesterday was the birthday of the man himself, Peter Cullen. He turned 84 years old. So happy birthday to Peter. I hope he's doing well. We haven't got any news on how his health is. And, again, it's his business to keep it private. But, wishing him the best. Again, Peter is pretty much he and Frank Welker are the cornerstones of the franchise, and they mean so much to movie fans and to the the G1 fans out there. So hope he is doing well, and hope he's got many more years left in him. I hope that his health turns around, because I really want to meet the man, and hope he had a fantastic birthday with friends and family. Now we got a ton, a literal ton of news to cover. I think first and foremost we'll do we'll get the Skybound stuff out of the way, and I'm not too worried about this one getting flagged, but we got a trailer for the Energon universe going to war. So let's kick that off. Everybody was hoping for an announcement of an animated series, and unfortunately we didn't get that. But we did get this trailer, and this trailer is pretty good. So let's give this a watch. I really wish they would do a motion comic at the very least, because yeah, that's just such a cool trailer, man. Like, even if we don't get, again, everything's starting up in October for November for G.I. Joe. And I like what they're doing. I really hope we get an adaptation to make it animated. But still, cool stuff. And hopefully the momentum with the comics keeps up, just because I think that's the way that they adopt it, and we get that animated series. All right. Now we got to get into the toys, because man, oh man, we had a ton of stuff shown off at SDCC toy wise. First, they did the breakfast preview, so we knew Nemesis Prime was coming, and got some news on him too from a friend, we'll say. So the breakfast, they showed off Nemesis Prime, and this set is being sold as a expanded Voyager. When I first saw the price, I was like, I don't know about that. After some of the logistics, I'm a little bit more okay with it. We'll get into that. So they showed off Nemesis Prime, the Armada Nemesis Prime with Star Saber. And again, there's no trailer for him. He is not a commander class. Some people wish he was. In the cartoon, he never had the trailer. He was just the core bot. And I'm kind of okay. We'll get into that when we go over pictures. They have a color prototype of the Lio Kaiser HasLab. They also had Death Cobra with them. They showed off a completed Studio Series Devastator, the Retro Sea Spray and Brawn, the Hot Wheels crossovers, the NFL crossovers, and Lego Soundwave. So we'll run through this real quick. Showing off the original and the new one. It looks like it's a pretty faithful redo of the original Star Saber. So I'm curious, I'm glad it's not done with semi-transparent. That was the thing that irked me about the Fans Hobby one, to be honest, was that they used clear plastic. So here we go. We got a look at these guys, the originals. And you can see all opaque plastic, new sculpts. So got some ball jointed shoulders. I hope that they do more mini cons figure out a way. This is unfortunately a PulseCon exclusive. So the Star Saber team's not going to be available commercially. You're going to have to go through Hasbro Pulse to get these. So, yeah. This set comes in at $75. And again, I get their rationale, right? They're saying, oh, well, this is a $20 set, and it's, he's kind of a leader Voyager figure, even though they're saying he's a Voyager. I'll show why it's got the tooling to be considered a modern leader, though I disagree with it. So this was their setup here. You see they've got the 3-0 Lost Light Rodimus there, Lego Soundwave. They've got the and I was told that this is the final production colors for this Nemesis Prime. And PulseCon around the corner, it may as well be. We get a look at Lyo Kaiser there. Unfortunately, he does not come with that stand. That's a cool stand. Or maybe he does. That is a cool stand, though. And yeah, I'll be curious to see how this guy stands on his own. I didn't back this one, so I will live vicariously through other people. And yeah, ACHHK Minicons have kind of been back. They did the PulseCon exclusive Hot Shot, the Powerlinks deco, and then they also did, funny enough, with the Armada Wheeljack mold that they did. That was a pre-tool that they did for Shattered Glass Sideswipe, and it came with Wheeljack's Minicon, but in the wrong deco. So, per Proto Man, actually Evan Brooks, I believe, talked to Proto Man. This was the prototype deco, and then what you see behind in the darker blue is the final deco. So this is like a test shot prototype here, but what you're seeing in this packaging that's a little bit darker, that's the final colors for Armada Nemesis Prime. I do like that they've got like the clear, they've got the transparent red going on there. And I mean, it looks nice. I'll jump to the lead after this gallery as to why they kept him at that price. He does still come with the Matrix, which is cool. It's got a red jewel in there. Lots of repeated pictures. I do wish that they gave him a couple head options. I do like the fact that they did like the resculpt. They gave him the battle damage face mask and the droopy eye. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good there. I will be picking this one up because I do like the idea of the standalone. I passed on the Fans Hobby one because I didn't want to buy the trailer with it. So I do want the Star Saber, and I do want Nemesis Prime just by himself. So I will be getting that. These pictures kind of repeat. We did get the official reveal pictures here with the final colors and the packaging. So you see how he's coming in this special box that's kind of like a, it's not quite a leader box. It's bigger than a Voyager box. So it's just special packaging for PulseCon. And like I said, he does look very good. And yeah, I think a lot of people are like looking at this, and with fans going back to Fans Hobby, when they did Clench, they removed the combiner parts when they retooled their naval commander into Clench. They got rid of the combiner head, they got rid of the combiner hands, and that was a way that they cut the price down a little bit. But with this figure, even though it's not advertised, Proto Man went and talked. It wasn't Evan. He talked to Mark. So let me reshare this out so I can get his audio here, because he did interview Mark about this, because this was a burning question that they didn't quite answer in those pictures. So fortunately,
hey, there we go. So here's the Matrix chamber. How that looks for Nemesis. Let's see the head there.
Yeah, so you got Mark to show.
The head for people that want to have their Nemesis.
Yep.
Super Comboy.
Yeah, and he looks good with the existing trailer. Obviously, these colors aren't final. Those colors.
And then,
are.
yeah, Mark's
The darker
confirming
blue.
that darker
But,
deco
yeah,
is
still
the
has
final.
The combining element. We obviously didn't cut that. It's
Yeah.
in molds, you know what I mean?
So we'll have more updates. It's early, San Diego.
I don't know if I told you.
Oh,
Well, this plate right here is
Uh-huh.
different from the Armada
Yeah.
Optimus plate,
Beauty.
because that had the embossed emblem
Yeah.
sculpted in. So I thought it was kind of cool.
So they
to
went
keep
back into tooling and
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to do that.
Cool.
Just to add a little difference, you know.
you know.
You know.
All right,
So-
we're just gonna chill here on the floor.
Yeah, a couple mold changes there too. So aside from the fact he's got the kind of zombie head, it's still cool they went back and changed that chest plate and got rid of the embossed Autobot insignia there. And also cool to see Mark interacting with somebody. Now, Proto Man, he's an organizer, TFCon, and we had him back when I was with Figure Action. We had him on a couple times. I've actually DM'd him because he is now the writer for the Udon Mega Man X comics. So I'm trying to see if he'd be interested once his NDAs are up, coming in and talking to us on the Gronking podcast. Because, well, yeah, again, having somebody that's actually working directly with Capcom and making the Mega Man X franchise relevant, I think it would be really cool to talk gaming with him and talk Mega Man. But yeah, Proto Man's always a good dude. See him at every TFCon I attend. He typically hangs out with Aaron Archer, and yeah, just a good dude. So it's cool to see him and Mark interacting and Mark sharing all that with everybody. So let's get back because we got a lot of stuff to cover. So we've got all the panel slides. And we've got better pictures. So they did their panel similar to TFCon, you know, where they go through and show everything off. Of course, they had Nate from marketing, Mark, what we saw in that video, Evan Brooks. And, you know, Mark and Evan are two of the, you know, the designers. So this was the, you know, we covered this before, the Void Rivals and Jetfire, SDCC exclusive. And of course, the Hearts of Steel 2-packs. I'm waiting for that to go up August 1st with Bumblebee and Megatron in the canon mode. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these because these are washed out. We've got better ones. The Hot Wheels 2-pack, these are not 2-pack, the Hot Wheels crossovers, they just went up for pre-order. Amazon, Pulse, all those sites got those in. Of course, they had an interview, a Q&A with Frank Welker. And, you know, kind of going and showing some of the Studio Series stuff that they, well, not really Studio Series stuff, but just kind of some sizzle reels from media. And, yeah, I think that's all there. And then, you know, really just hyping up that, hey, you can get the movies on digital and 4K. I don't think they're ready to say, you know, the Bay involvement. There is a fan mode coming up, a fan vote coming up. Sure, that'll be on the Hasbro sites. I'm sure TFW will have that linked. That's coming up on the 12th. They've done these before. It's kind of funny they'll do these, and it just really is about prioritizing the release. We end up getting all the characters eventually. So then they go through showing the deluxes for Age of the Primes. We're getting a Sure Shot, which is nice. So getting more Target Masters. And he's looking pretty good. We're getting Blast Off, obviously, because, well, hey, we know Bruticus is coming. It's interesting, too, that Blast Off is getting that kind of animation error face going on, which I can dig it. He did have that face. It's kind of unique. We're getting a new Junkion. We're getting Jalopy from, I forget what the name of that mold was, from Legacy. But cool stuff. We get a better look at Quick Strike here, and he's looking pretty damn good. I hope Beast Wars gets some more love, because there are more that they can do, and we are kind of getting a little bit more Beast Wars love, which we'll see when we get to the leaders. But yeah, Quick Strike is looking awesome. Lance's first thing was like, he's like, I want to buy 2 of them so I can extend the tail. And I said to him, I was like, yeah, I'm sure DNA Designs is going to do that. I'm sure that's going to be like one of the first things that DNA Designs does is a new tail. we get our first look at Quintus Prime, which is looking pretty good. And I kind of feel like we're going to get this retooled into a Beast Wars, the second character. If you can kind of make out the squid silhouette of his ship mode here. But I do like this. This is like, I kind of like the that, you know, Quintesson design from Transformers 1, and I think this like kind of puts it into the main line in a much better execution. I wish this guy was a Voyager, but I also like that it's a very unconventional design. So I think he's going to look good with the primes. We get a look at Voyager Brawl, which some eagle-eyed sleuths have kind of picked out that this is a heavy retool of Scrapper. Like they picked it out in the hips and the legs. So pretty cool. It kind of signals that Onslaught might not have the same skeleton system in the legs. Especially with, I mean, if Brawn's a Voyager, Swindle's got to be one as well. Finally, we're getting Trashmaster retooled into animated Wreck-Gar, and this is absolutely awesome. I feel like this is what he should have been from the start. So, really cool one to see. Kind of wish they had resculpted the hands a little bit. I don't really think those guns fit so well, but that face sculpt is just right on the money. And I think the dump truck mode works pretty well too. Then we get a look at Amalgamus Prime, and this is really cool. The first thing I saw is like, oh, they're going to turn this into animated Spidor. Because people are like, what is this alt mode? And I'm like, to me, it just looks like a battle frog. It looks like a frog with a gun on its head. I think that's awesome. So I also love the mono eye design and, you know, this clear plastic on the shoulders. I think this is one of the most unique looking of the 13 that they've done so far. So looking forward to him. Then we get into the leaders, and yeah, Razor Claw. We're getting Razor Claw, which is really cool. So yeah, it's Beast Wars, but it was really Universe, and I know a lot of people that love this deco for the Tigerhawk mold. So I'm pretty sure at this point we're probably going to get Cryotech. Because, I mean, what else are they going to do with the Dragon Megatron mold? The big one, we're getting Big Convoy. And it's also interesting that they're calling him Big Convoy. So I am curious. Like, what this mold's going to be like in hand with it being a leader class. But it's looking really cool, and I can't wait to see him next to Magnetron. So really cool stuff. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some robot kibble there, but I'm sure that the transformation on this guy is going to be a lot less fiddly than the original. And I still do have the original. I have the Korean one, and I have the reissue in the anime colors from a few years back. So we get some shots there with Mark, and they had it on the table, an early test shot version. We'll get into that because there's more pictures. Then we get a look at the Commander. We're getting Onslaught next, and the best we're getting right here is a render of the bot mode, which is, you know, it's something at least. I'm glad that Hasbro's leaning in and doing renders, because it at least gives them, like, it creates hype, and it also gives people an insight in the design, like what the figure is going to look like. And, you know, again, they've been hit with so many leaks. Why not just show people what they're up to? Then we go through the Studio Series, and we got some big ones here. Let's start off with the Deluxe. I mean, we saw Arachnid. We get a render of her in color, and she's looking pretty good. We've seen the grayscale at one of the last Hasbro events. Then we get Barricade, and Barricade is looking awesome. Finally getting that proper face sculpt and way better weapons for him. So really, really cool stuff here. I just wish that his knuckle dusters were painted. Yeah, the brass knuckles that he had. Big one, we're getting Windcharger, and we got to look at a prototype version of him. And a lot of people are like, wait a minute. The only time we saw him in the 86 movie, he was dead. You know they're going to do a pack of him and Wheeljack dead. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. Voyagers, we're getting our Alpha Trion. There's a color picture of him. I want to say it's a render, but that looks like an actual photograph. Could be a render. The renders are getting so good these days. But we've seen the prototype version of him, so we can see that the sword's going to be done in transparent plastic and a lot of metallics on him. He's looking pretty good. I wish they would have done like soft goods for the hump cloak thing. I'm sure DNA will do this. This one was really exciting. This came out of nowhere. We are getting new Seekers. This is a brand new Seeker mold. And yeah, so I know a lot of people are complaining about it, but there are a lot of people that don't do Masterpiece, and they want their chug scale stuff to look as animation accurate as it can. We'll get into some of the stuff that's going on with this. I'm not unhappy about it, and I think this is a nice upgrade from what we got from the Earthrise molds. But there is some parts forming involved to get these legs the way that they are, this clean look. But I don't hate it. So it's kicking off with Thundercracker. And apparently, people aren't going to be happy with the way that they're going to have to buy Starscream. So we'll get into that. Then we get into our leader scale. Obviously, we're getting Nemesis Prime. This is a partial remold. He comes with the unmasked face. He's got new forearms, and he also comes with the hand blade weapon and a different deco. I'm hoping that his paint deco is better, because the initial pictures we saw for the Age of Extinction Prime, he looked like he had more paint. He looked like he had silver paint. I'm hoping they actually paint this guy silver, but who knows? It's just also kind of funny. They're calling him Nemesis Prime, and all he's got is like the little stripe there. I guess that is movie accurate, but I kind of would have liked a darker or more purpley color here than the blue. But again, it's Studio Series. Then we get to the big one. We get our first Titan class movie figure, and surprising everybody, it is a redo of Grimlock. And Mark and Evan brought this guy out, and he's massive, and he is in scale. We got some better pictures than this. He is in scale with your Studio Series Leader Class Optimus. There's a colored render of him. I mean, again, you know he's going to be that same kind of metallic and teal brushed in. But yeah, big figure here. And there's a good picture there. You can see that resin prototype. And yeah, just looking absolutely awesome. I'm guessing that the teeth are going to be that rubbery plastic along with the shin spikes and all. But yeah, this is looking really, really cool. And I'm probably going to be offloading my G Creations one, because I think this is going to be what I'm looking for with a big old Grimlock for the shelf. So the G Creations one is very neat, but not fun to transform. And yeah, I think that this one and its scale is just right there what I'm looking for. So let's catch up with chat real quick, and then we'll get back into it, because we got so much more stuff to cover. So we got Boss Hog stopping in saying, good to see you, Boss Hog. Hope you're doing well, my dude. And Mario saying, can't believe the voice of Optimus has turned 84. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, and I hope that he's around for a while longer. Again, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to have him, actually go out with a bang as Optimus. I'd like for him to have, like, one more defining role as the character, even if it's a Michael Bay movie, even if it's a place for him to pass the torch. So, yeah. Got Daniel coming in with some positivity. Good to see you, Daniel. Hope you are doing well, and welcome over to the channel. And, yep, Aquateki got you on that for the mini-cons. And Mario saying, feel bad for the people who wanted to get the air defense minicon that formed the Star Saber. They had to pay on Pulse with the Nemesis Prime, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they don't want to release the minicons as they did, right? The minicons were so ingenious when they were part of Armada, and they lasted all the way through Cybertron. They were just nice, fun-sized little Transformers, little impulse buys you could get for kids. I loved when they brought the Battle Masters and the I forgot what they called the the small guys with Siege. I know they didn't call them Micromasters, but when they kind of brought Micromasters back for Siege, and they came in multi-packs, I miss seeing the little guys on the shelf, and it just seems like such a missed opportunity to not do a big mini-con pack for what we have so far. And especially since Armada Prime, Megatron, I mean, we technically got Jolt with that Pulse exclusive hotshot, Starscream, now Red Alert. It's like these guys are naked without their minicon partners, and it's like, how are you going to release them? We got Wheeljack as well, so they're still giving us Armada characters, but they need to give us those minicons. And Aquateki saying, yes, finally getting Sure Shot as a legit target master. Yeah, and he's looking real good. And also saying Quintus could be the setup for more Quintessons in the future. I'd love to see a Quintesson subline, kind of like how they did, the Rock guys, and they did the Junkions. I feel like they could do like a set of Quintessons, give us the Executioner. I feel like there's plenty of stuff they could do. And yeah. Mario's right. It was Scrap Hook. That was the one that they turned into Axle Grease, and then they turned it into Lockdown as well. Yeah, that's a good mold, though. It's a real good mold. Got Super Gamer and Plus Show coming in saying hi, and also saying, would they use Siege Wheeljack for the Dead 2-back if they do the one? I'm pretty sure, since Windcharger and Wheeljack were kind of dead together. Though with those dead packs, I kind of feel like they shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, because the first two didn't sell. Like when they did Ratchet, and when they did Ironhide and Prowl, and then they did Ratchet and Brawn, and both of those were like straight to clearance. But I kind of feel like they would come in and do it just to finish them out, maybe. And yeah, Mario having that set. It's weird that they're doing it. I'm shocked that they didn't say, hey, we're going to do Studio Series 84 and then 85. I feel that's still going to happen. And we got Professor Soundwaves coming in saying, hey, Extra, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Well, let's get back to it, because we got a lot more. We'll go through these official slides. So, everything that I showed in that slideshow, they came back out and provided it in a higher resolution. I should have just shown these, to be honest. But yeah, all of the slides from the show are available in high def. Then we got the booth. So they're showing off Grimlock here, showing off the primes, the new ones that they've got. So we've got Quintus, and I'm surprised they didn't show Vector Prime. I'm really curious if he's going to be a new deco or not. But Amalgamus was on display as well. And, of course, they've got all the other ones that we've seen so far. Onyx is actually dropping in the UK right now, as well as Micronus is hitting Hong Kong. So these guys are coming out pretty quickly. And then, of course, they have all the Prime Relics on display, which is pretty cool as well. Oh, and Alpha Trion also came out in Hong Kong as well. Really going to be curious what the Relics build. They're all supposed to combine into something. I'm just really curious what it's going to end up being. I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to look all that great, but it's cool that they at least can. So, yeah. And I do really like this deco on Amalgamus. I like that transparent amber and the silver on there. Quintus looks pretty good with that green transparent going on. But yeah, just some good looks there, and that's a really cool head sculpt. I get some people are upset that they're so monochromatic, but I just kind of like them all being primary colors, because if you think about it, I mean, Optimus is just red and blue. When you get into the primes. But Amalgamus, I think, is so far probably one of my favorite sculpts. I'm hoping that toy really lands. Really looking forward to checking that out in person. We'll skip ahead because they got a lot of close shots here, but let's get to there's Grimlock, and then, of course that's it's not the actual Nemesis Prime. There you can see this is just a kind of partial of the existing Studio Series Leader Prime. Oh, and I also forgot to mention he comes with a shotgun as well. So he comes with the shotgun that the Age of Extinction Prime didn't come with, in addition to the wrist spike. So you can see the wrist spike there, and you can see the shotgun there. So he's coming with more stuff than the original did. Hopefully that doesn't mean they skimp on that paint job anymore. But man, it's so cool that he can ride on Grimlock like that. And yeah, Grimlock's even got a sculpted in tongue. So you get a good look at that resculpted face right there. It doesn't have the faceplate. So yeah, I'm really curious what the final deco for Nemesis Prime is going to look like. But just really cool. I never thought we would get this officially, like an official 2-scale Grimlock. I thought what we got with Studio Series was going to be it. Like, hey, he's kind of big, just, use your imagination. But they are committing to the scale on this. And I'm sure this will do well, because even if Age of Extinction isn't like the most beloved movie, I think a lot of people kind of just love the idea of Prime riding around on Grimlock, myself included. And finally getting a very detailed sculpt of this guy. Talking so much, I built up a thirst. But yeah, just the details on this are incredible, and I really think it's awesome how they revealed it and generated the hype. Better look at that shotgun there. So yeah, really, really cool stuff. And then they also had some of the prototypes on display. So you can see Barricade, you can see Wind Charger, and the effects part that he comes with. Arachnid. Get a look at Alpha Trion, who's kind of a smaller Voyager, meaning he's probably going to have some interesting tooling, and that new Seeker mold. And we'll get into the new Seeker mold in a little bit here, where you can kind of make out that it's parts forming. So yeah, he definitely didn't have that in the 86 movie, which again, I think that Studio Series 84 should have been a thing, but they've really knocked it out of the park with all of these updates to the old mini-bots. So good stuff there. And it's just a really good looking Wind Charger. Like, to be honest, it looks better than a lot of the third party efforts. That's just a really good sculpt. You look at Barricade and the sculpt work on him. Looking pretty crisp. And that, that souped up Mustang mode looking pretty good. And Arachnid, I'm just curious how well she's actually going to stand in person. She's got the back legs, so we'll see. But I am getting all the Transformers 1 Studio Series figures. I'm probably going to be scaling back on the movie stuff, but Transformers 1 and Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast, I'm pretty much complete with, unless they do Stratosphere. Good look at Alpha Trion there again. I don't really see where he's a Voyager, but I guess it's probably coming down to tooling and parts counts. And that new Seeker mold, yes, this does have a waist. This is kind of like a mini masterpiece, but there is parts forming. Again, the null rays or shoulder cannons, depending on what character. Yeah, those are going to be 5mm pegs. And let's see, does this gallery have the back of him? I don't think it does, but there's Razor Claw metallic paint job looking really, really awesome. I like this mold a lot. I will probably end up getting this as a double dip on the mold. I never got the Universe one. I always wish I did. And that metallic color scheme just looks so good on him. So, and I'm sure DNA Designs is like clasping their hands ready to go for this. Their upgrade kit. They probably already are color matching it based on photos. Then we get Big Convoy, and this is definitely a test shot, and you'll see in the robot mode. Because all the blues are black, but you still get his big cannon, which is awesome. And yeah, he also comes with his regular blaster as well, which the original toy never had. You can see this is all black there. It should be blue. there's the Matrix. The Matrix still pops out of his chest, and he can hold it. And as I mentioned with Galaxy Convoy was the first Optimus that could hold it, but Big Convoy was, you can make the argument Big Convoy being an Optimus, but Galaxy Prime was the first Optimus Prime that we had that had a removable Matrix that he could actually hold. But yeah, this was the first Convoy that had a removable Matrix back in the day. And granted, the original one was like chrome back metallic, but I think this looks fine with the gold paint, to be honest. And it's cool that they kept the feature in there. Looks like you're getting quite a lot for a leader class figure here. And I'm curious to see the final deco. It's a shame. I know a lot of people don't like clear plastic, but I always did kind of like the clear arm on the original. And I'm sure Takara Tomy, we'll get into that maybe if there's time, but Takara Tomy probably would do a deco with the clear. But looking really cool here. I think I have a hypothesis as why they're going like Big Convoy and they're leaning into like the anime look for them. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, more for Razor Claw, and a lot of these other figures are really far along. Blast Off and Brawl and Jalopy and Wheeljack, Wreck-Gar, Quick Strike, Sure Shot. They all look like they're ready to go and ready to hit shelves. So that's pretty cool. So I'm sure Age of the Primes Wave 3 will be here before we know it. You get a look at Sure Shot's Target Master there. So really good stuff. I love the paint that they used on him. I like that kind of like semi-gloss. You know, it makes the faces pop so much. Like what they just did with the Perceptor. The metallic paint on this Quick Strike looks so good. I'm glad that, you know, we're getting a more tune accurate Quick Strike here. He just looks fan-friggin-tastic. And that face sculpt is just so on the money. I do wish he had posable scorpion legs, but again, you know, kind of is what it is, and it's a stability thing. If they put those all on ball joints, I'm just happy that the snake arm is still in ball joints. So really, really cool stuff there. And again, animated Wreck-Gar. What more can you say? Look at that head sculpt. Jalopy looks pretty good. Just looks like gonna fit right in with the other Junkions that they created for Legacy. I'm sure you could probably put Wreck-Gar in there too if you wanted to. And our Combatagon team, man, they're looking so good. Really glad to see that they were able to figure out giving Blast Off ankles, because even MMC couldn't do that. So really cool stuff. Granted, I mean, he's not an all-in combiner, but Brawl's looking good there. Love the Decepticon insignia on the forearm there, and that detail on the head sculpt is just really, really well done. So a close-up of Blast Off's face there. I guess you kind of get the best of both worlds there. You get that painted, and then you still get the eyes sculpted in. So you kind of get the mishmash of designs. But, I mean, most people, they're just going to put him in shuttle mode and be like, yeah, you're forming my Bruticus. And I can't wait to see the Bruticus, because they've really knocked out of the park with what they've got so far. Love that insignia on the top of the shuttle, too. Just everything here is just looking really, really good. So, big step up for Hasbro for what they're doing with this design team and the decos. They're really, really firing on all cylinders right now. The packaging art here is looking really good. And again, like, I can't wait to see what that final Bruticus looks like. And we're getting back shots of all these guys, the Primes. Close up of Nemesis Prime's face sculpt. That's some good detail work. Granted, it's resin, but yeah, really great stuff there. All right, I got to keep it moving because I'm coming up on time. I actually have to work at midnight tonight, so I do need to make sure I get through this, not going too late. But we got to look at the and again, I think Evan brought this to someone who's asking about it. Again, more pictures of Big Convoy here, kind of like what we just saw, but you get some good looks at his face. And again, I'm curious to see what the final deco will look like. I hope it's more like the renders. I want more of that blue on his helmet and maybe a different white that doesn't look so like transparent. I won't say it looks transparent, but you know, it just kind of washes out. Well, let's hop over to the Seeker here, right? So this was a big point of contention, especially on social media, especially on Twitter. Yes, this is parts forming. So these fins that are here on the back of the Seeker mold, they poured in here. So you could technically do a perfect transformation, but you will have kibble on the lower legs. So it's a solution, right? It's like, you know, he has the butt flap, or I should say they have the butt flap, because this is also going to be Starscream and Skywarp as well. And yeah, you can take these parts off and peg them onto the back of the wings. I mean, there's only so much they can do in the Masterpiece transformations for them to pull it off. It's not the most elegant thing. So it's like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? I think this is probably the best we're going to get in a chug scale without it being super frustrating, without getting something like a New Age Romulus. But yeah, this is... I think this is fine, to be honest. I really think this is fine to maintain a fun transformation. Again, you don't have to like pop the, you know, you don't have to pop the wing sections off if you don't want to. So, you know, yeah. I think this is okay, to be honest. I know some people are kind of worried about it, but like when you get a sculpt like this at an affordable price for a Voyager, I think the juice is worth the squeeze. I just hope it's a fun transformation. I'm glad they were able to get the articulation in there. They're able to get the waist joint in there. It looks like he's got wrist swivels. So yeah, this is I think a fair trade-off, to be honest. And I'm going to chug along. I want to get through this stuff because I'm excited about it. I don't think I'm going to cover the Anime Con stuff today. It's a lot of 3-0 and YOLO Park stuff, but I definitely want to get through talking about this official stuff. And yes, I did see those listings. I got those at the tail end. We'll get to those. So yeah. I think this is fine. And opening cockpit, come on now. None of the Earthrise ones had that. Let's freaking go. So I'm excited to see the final product of this. I'm excited to see how the transformation works out. You know, I think that they're kind of, again, there's a lot of people that get upset anytime they redo Prime, anytime they redo the Seekers, anytime they redo Soundwave, anytime they redo Megatron. Oh, we've had these. But there's also a case to say, like, well, yeah, we've had them, but they're doing a better version, and they're also doing ones that are going to make people that say, you know, I missed out on these. I never got Starscream. I didn't get him in Siege. I didn't get him in Earthrise. Didn't get him in Studio Series. Oh, they're doing a new one, and it's the best one. You know, and I think that there is a case for that. I mean, there always is going to be a bigger and better version of a character. Not always, but most of the times they're going to do a better deco or a better sculpt, or, you know, you don't have to replace what's on your shelf, but you do have to realize there's somebody that wants to get into the hobby and doesn't have any on their shelf. So food for thought there. Moving along, they did do a promotional video, not Mark, but Evan Brooks and shoot, I forget this gentleman's name. But little footnotes here. This was designed by Tomoki Tetsui. The Grimlock isn't the last Dinobot. The next Dinobot is in development for 2027, and they plan on doing the other two in 2028 and 2029. So Not sure if that means we're going to get Slug or Swoop first. I think, what was the other one? Was it Snarl? I know they did like the Spinosaur. Don't know if they're going to be Titan class, but I can guarantee at the very least they'll probably be leader class. I'm sure Swoop will probably be a leader class. Or Strafe, not Swoop. Because the Dinobots in the movies were all weird. So a couple more points here. The Dino mode has 3mm ports on its back, so you can secure. It's designed to secure Prime in place, which is pretty cool. So the scan port is going to be utilized. The right club handle is made up of several points, and it's actually got metal reinforcement, kind of similar to what they did for Omega Prime Sword. It's pretty cool for a mass retail figure, so you don't really have to worry about that thing snapping on you because it's going to have a metal rod going through it. The jaws can open in the dinosaur mode, and the head is locked in due to the transformation. They're also saying that the price is going to be under $200, and it's probably going to come in at $150. Grimlock's probably going to come out next summer, 2026, and pre-orders and the final price are going to be revealed pretty soon. So, cool stuff there. Unexpected one. We're getting a Masters of the Universe, because Masters of the Universe is crossing over with everything. They've done Stranger Things. They've done Ninja Turtles. There was another one that they did. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're finally getting Masters of the Universe Transformers. Starting off with Bumblebee Man-at-Arms, which is Man-at-Arms and Bumblebee armor. I think the whole idea is that these characters are utilizing different Transformers as armor. Okay, he's fine. But then we get into the Megatron Skeletor, and yeah, I got to get this and whatever they do for Optimus, because this is just so cheesy and stupid and cool. I absolutely love it. I love how the mace is the goat head with horns, and he comes. The fusion cannon has the goat head on it. I love everything about this Skeletor. So yeah, I'm planning on getting these. These are going to be available. I think they're $32 a piece because they're Masters of the Universe Deluxe figures. But we got Bumblebee armor, Man-at-Arms, and Megatron armor, Skeletor. And I think these are coming next year, if I've read correctly. I know they went up on pre-order on Mattel's site, but I'm sure these are going to be, from what I understand, they're going to be available at mass retail, like the Ninja Turtle stuff. And cool packaging, too, for them. So keep it going. We've got a courtesy of JT Prime, who never steers us wrong. We are getting, and I'm surprised they didn't show this at Comic-Con, but we're getting a Commander class Armada Jetfire. I guess it's probably safe to assume he's not going to come with a minigun. But all we have now is just a listing for him, nothing more. I'm going to skip over all of that anime gaming convention Hong Kong stuff. We'll save that for next week if it's light enough. And courtesy of TM Reviews, we get a look at new pictures for the Optimus Machina Predaking. So this guy's coming in about 12 inches tall. It's going to be full of die-cast. Again, we don't have pricing on him yet, but we get more color photos. Last week we got the first, and they're showing off the posability. So weapons, posability, and we get a group shot of Razor Claw and all the Predacons. And yeah, as I mentioned last time, the individual Predacons kind of suffer. It looks like they're prioritizing the combined mode. Looking good. With the price of the Optimus Machina stuff, I'm probably going to be priced out of it, to be honest with you. Also, I think it's a bit too small. I would love to have this to replace the MMC Feral Rex in my collection. Depending on what Feral Rex goes for, if I can sell Feral Rex to afford this, I would replace Feral Rex with it. But for now, it's probably going to be a pass for me. Going back to what I said about Big Convoy and them kind of leaning into the name and the anime aesthetics, well, we're getting rumors now that the Takara Tomy 40th Anniversary Selection Lyo Convoy has been canceled. So nothing firm yet, but there was an email that came through from an Australian-based retailer, Pop Culture, who deals a lot with, figures, collectibles. They got a their email basically said that it was canceled by Takara Tomy, and they actually shared a communication out saying, "G'day from Pop Culture. We're very sorry to advise you that the Beast Wars 2 Super Light Form Transformers Lio Convoy 40th Selection Takara Tomy action figure, boy, that's a mouthful, has been canceled by the manufacturer. Therefore, we've had to cancel your pre-order." Now, BBTS has not canceled my pre-order yet, but they did charge me for it a few months back, only to go back and say, "Hey, yeah, no, we aren't getting our solicitation for it." So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Maybe it's just they're canceling certain solicitations, but it just seems strange to me they would go through the design process and then cancel it. Maybe pre-orders and interest seemed a bit low. I did have this pre-ordered because I like the deco, but I was disappointed by the lack of accessories that he came with. So be really curious to see how this develops. Then we got some stuff, as I mentioned. Onyx Prime is out in the UK. Sixo just reviewed it. Go check out his review. He does good stuff. Then in Canada, the retro Sea Spray and Brawn have already shown up at Walmarts. So hopefully they're plentiful here because I want both of these guys, especially Sea Spray. Brawn, I'm going to keep on packaging. I'll get one Sea Spray to keep on card and then another to muck around with, because as I like to do. And then also in Hong Kong, they were selling Alpha Trion at the Hasbro booth. So a Billy user has shared his Prime collection here, tossing in Vector for good measure, so you can see how Alpha Trion stacks up with the rest. I'm sure we'll be getting reviews on this guy soon. Looking pretty good. And also, Micronus, same user, was able to get Micronus, as well as Venom. But yeah, so I'm sure we'll be getting some, reviews on these guys really soon. And then also Scavenger also showing up at that same convention. So hopefully the final two Constructicons, Mixmaster and Scavenger, and this lucky person has their Mixmaster and Scavenger, and they're able to complete their Devastator. Also throwing in Hauler for good measure. Hauler just kind of standing off to the side. And yeah, Devastator, I'm looking forward to completing mine. He's just missing an arm and a leg at this point. I'm missing Scavenger and Mixmaster, but I've got my Devastator. And lastly, we've got some new listings from JT Prime. I am missing one thing on here, but it's all rumors about a multi-pack coming, and that being the way to get Starscream. But JT Prime has some new listings, and again, JT Prime I kind of consider the gospel, because I don't think anything that he's ever listed has not come out unless explicitly canceled. And the only two things I can think of are that Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee Hound, and the one they ended up releasing it in Studio Series, the Dark of the Moon dog dread. Why I can't think of his name right now is beyond me. But JT Prime lists that we're getting a Beast Wars Generations Maximal multi-pack. So no idea what's in there. But Twin Mill 2, I don't know if that's going to be a redeco of the Hot Wheels Twin Mill. I'm sure they'll probably do that more of a orange color scheme. I think Twin Mill had a couple different variations within Hot Wheels. A Deluxe Insecticons 3-pack, which makes sense. I mean, a lot of people slept on those when they were, or couldn't find them because of the distribution when they came out through Legacy. So it'd be nice for fans to be able to get all three Insecticons and potentially a better deco altogether. Additionally, a Studio Series Anniversary Deluxe Prowl, a Voyager Starscream, which again, no mention what mold it's going to be, whether they're going to reuse the Earthrise mold or not, to be determined. It goes on to state that the anniversary items are Target exclusives, so good luck. And interestingly, a Generation Studio Series Leader Optimus Prime based on the 07 movie. And going into state that this is going to be a redo of the 07 Bay Prime. So curious to see if it's going to get new tooling. I thought that the Voyager one they did for Revenge of the Fallen that they also used for the Dark of the Moon was pretty decent. I'm curious to see what they do with a leader prime. Hatchet, thank you so much. I could not get that get that name off. I couldn't articulate it. Let's catch up on chat just a little bit, and then we'll get to third party and we'll wrap it up because I gotta get ready to go back to work. It's fun being the wonderful world of IT. Sometimes they need you after hours. All right. Professor Downway saying, remind me, did Beast Wars Racing Club appear in the cartoon? No, just the comics from what I understand. But I know those, I think it was the 3H comics, if I remember correctly, where they had that and the, remember the weird maroon deco of Optimus Primal, you know? I'm pretty sure Razor Call was in there. We got Snap Right coming in saying, how's it going, everyone? Good to see you, Snap. Hope you're having a great night, my dude. And let's see here. Professor Downwave saying those little fins are going on the bottom of the legs like cartoon animated. Yeah. 5mm ports, man. That's the joy of them. You can kind of do what you want. I know they kind of cheat a little bit with that Sonic and Tails 2-pack. With the Tails character, like you can pop his wings off if you want because they're just on 5mm ports. So if you make him clean, and Princeton saying, hopefully they make a Sunstorm. They're gonna make everything under the sun with that mold. If there's a Seeker mold, it will be repainted. Now, will they make those exclusives, or that's to be determined. Yeah, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that we'll probably get redos on all the Seekers, on all the Cone heads. That's the thing. And yes, that was Nate. And let's see. Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool to see that they're giving people a chance to get Prowl finally. I know that was the big one because they made the Earthrise Prowl. They sold that in a cartoon deco exclusively with a redo of Ironhide, and it was just it was a crapshoot. And then the only other opportunity people had to get Prowl was the dying Prowl, and people are like, "No, I just want a regular Prowl. I don't want the Prowl that horrified me as a child." All right, let's get through some third-party stuff so we can wrap up here. First up, we got a update for the DNA design kit for the Studio Series Sentinel Prime from Transformers 1. So this is going up for pre-order. It's going to be available this November. They've made some tweaks to this, which is pretty cool. They adjusted the wings to give it a better silhouette. They made it more movie accurate. The dual swords, they're coming in and say they redesigned them, but they can't be chrome plated because of the materials. Well, structural requirements is what they say, but I'm assuming it's materials. He has a new transparent shield, which I think looks better than the painted pink one. He has new foot plates that are transformable, new leg cannons. They redesigned the waist, and they also made it so you can pull them apart. Spoilers. He now comes with Megatronus's cog, which is pretty awesome. And he also comes with some bonus parts for the first batch. They also go on to say that they're not able to add a mask for B this time. The head is permanently glued and can't be disassembled. It's really a shame. We love the movie, the design. So I guess they were planning on doing a mask for Bumblebee, but I was unaware of that. So you see everything you get here: the new wing pieces, the new shield, the new leg cannons, and these are the bonus parts here. So I'm not quite sure what they are, but it doesn't really change the look of him too much. Just standing, and you can kind of see the new paint detail on the waist. But really, you see those wings. Those wings are way more movie accurate. And there he is, all transformed up into his super mode. And that looks so much better, especially with the dual blades. And like I was saying, that bubblegum pink shield just wasn't cutting it. This looks pretty awesome. And also, painted leg cannons. Jet mode doesn't really change all that much. You never really saw him transform in the movie anyway. But yeah, and I don't care that they didn't chrome that out. In fact, I prefer that they didn't, because it just looks more in keeping with him being, a Chug figure. But yeah, these additions to the wings, so much better. I'm picking this kit up. And then here you go. You can see the transformation cog, and it's on a 5mm port, so you can actually have D16 holding it, which is pretty cool. And this is amazing too. You can now pull him apart, and they actually included like a spinal piece. I'm curious how well D16 is going to be able to hold him, or Megatron is going to be able to hold him. But so cool that you can do that. And yeah, this is an add-on kit I will 110% be picking up. So cool stuff. Then we get a look over. So this is Troy McClure's Robot Toys and Sales Group. Wacky Simpsons reference here. But I highlight this because Fans Toys is a company that doesn't normally get KOs. Yet we're now seeing that. Now, they did previously have their Astro Train get KO'd, but now we're seeing the Robot Paradise Soundwave getting knocked off. And it appears that someone's got a sample. I'm not sure if it's Hutz Lionel who runs the group or not. I know he deals in figures. But this is the RP46 Sound Waves. And there's the AI box art here. So looking pretty spot on to what Robot Paradise was. And of course, with this, you get a bit more. You get, Ravage, Laserbeak, Frenzy. I'm surprised you don't get Rumble. Or not Ravage, Laserbeak, and Frenzy. Yeah, you don't get Rumble here. So, cool stuff. I'm curious what the price on this is going to be. He normally, if he has one, he'll list it, but Fans Toys, they're not immune from it. So I don't know. I don't like people getting ripped off, but I also kind of feel like Fans Toys is gouging the market a bit with their pricing. That's a discussion for another day. Moving over to Weibo, Laser Cat Toys. They do those awesome little super deformed characters. They've done some for Rise of the Beast. They've been working on some G1 combiners, and they're also doing Beast Wars. We've seen the Megatron. Well, now they are doing a Superion. So they write on Weibo, after Beasts, Dinosaurs, and Vehicles, the fourth party attended by a phalanx of small planes piloted by our Meow pilots. 5 planes cross the sky at a very fast speed. 5 weight clouds crisscross, leaving the 3 words, little fearless. This is a weird translation. Anyway, here's a render of their SD Superion. This looks really cool. Not something I'm going to get, but for anybody that collects the super deformed stuff, man, these things are so cute and cool. And I love the fact that you can have the team, and then you can take the combiner parts and make a little 6-member of it. This doesn't look to be any exception. So cool stuff coming from Lucky Cat. And then with New Age, we get a look at this is confirmed to be a Legends scale Volcanicus. I'm sure it's also going to be reworked into... I'm sure it's going to get reworked into Dino King. But yeah, New Age showing this Volcanicus off. And I can't tell if this is resin or renders. It looks more like renders to me. But, looking pretty cool. I'm sure New Age fans are going to eat this up. For me, wake me up when they do a good Dino King. Also from New Age, they are teasing a new 6-shot. So we've got that coming. And then this comes from Transform DW. Now, we looked at this with TFCon Toronto. We get some additional pictures. So this is the TCW12. And this is their take on a more appropriately scaled tidal wave. So the tidal wave that we got in Legacy is just, it's a Titan class. Some people found it too big. I kind of liked it because I love the game, though I wish... I've had this discussion with Lance. I wish that Tidal Wave was done up in the toy/video game colors, but what are you going to do? Well, if you want a Tidal Wave that's more in keeping with like how he appeared in Armada. They've got you covered. And they're doing some size comparisons here. Here you can see him with Commander Class Magmatron. So he's still a big boy. And there he is with one of the various Rise of the Beast Primes. But this is looking pretty cool. Pretty cool, all things considered. And lastly, Star Toys, their O2 Tracker, which is their take on a Trax. We've been covering this figure for a long time. I know when I was still part of Figure Action last year, we were talking about this figure. Well, they come in to say that they sent out several, I guess, HD pictures, they say maps, to warm up the current production as progressing. This guy's in production. But yeah, we're getting a look at the production version of the figure, and he is looking really, really good so far. We get looks at the posability. I like the paint. I like that they went metallic. And, for the price of this guy, I think he's like $70. He's old school MP car price. I think he's looking pretty good. I don't normally like to replace official figures, but that MP Trax is just so bad. I'm just going to put him in car mode and put him on the stand and have this guy standing in front of him with Blaster and Raoul. So I'm not getting rid of my official, but this guy is going to replace him for bot mode. And Star Toys is definitely underrated because their Blitzwing is just it's top tier. It made me not want the Fans Toys one. And posability in this guy looks awesome. It doesn't look like he's using hip skirts. They did that whole integrated thing, which T-Man and I both love when they do that, where the skirt's just integrated in the hip joint. Still comes with a Hoist Goes Hollywood accessory. And of course, he's stand compatible. They're showing him with an official one. And we get some looks at the car mode. And yeah, this metallic paint just looking really, really good. Unlike the official, you can't see his head in there either. And of course, yeah, you do have the kibble, but he does do the flying mode. And just all around looking good. I think Trax is a character that doesn't always get a lot of love and doesn't always get the best figures. So I'm hoping, given how great their Blitzwing was, this one really stacks up. And yeah, let me catch up with chat real quick before we close out of this one. Mario saying that listing for Prowl better not be fake and should be part of the 86 40th anniversary. Yeah, I agree. I given JT Prime's track record, I highly doubt it's fake. My biggest concern is Target. Walmart and Target exclusives have been hit or freaking miss lately. And a good example was Sideways. My Sideways, I pre-ordered two Sideways, one for myself and one for Lance, the Cybertron Sideways. They got canceled. And I'm in a DMV Transformers group, and this guy, he got. let me see if I'm not gonna pull up this guy's name, for privacy. But he got his order in from Walmart. So many people got their orders from Walmart. He ordered one and he got 8 of them. Now, kudos to this guy. He was like, I don't need 8 of these. And I know a lot of people got theirs canceled. So he was selling them for $25 shipped to anybody that wanted them. Like, he's like, hey, I got some stuff going on. So, basically, he's sending them out and, he's got to pay for shipping. So he's probably going to walk away with, $140, and one for himself. But I mean, just Walmart can't get it together with these exclusives. Either they get them in abundance or they don't get them at all. And it's a crapshoot. And the pre-orders get messed up. I mean, I got Excellion, but that was it. I wanted Sideways. I didn't want Excellion like that. So, yeah. Hey, Professor Soundwaves, at least they delayed it. They didn't outright cancel it. They just were like, we can't fulfill your order. And I was like, for real? Yeah. Mario saying that yeah, if it's just that proud for Studio Series 86, apart from the 40th anniversary capsule with that listing recently, it'd be nice. It's going to be a reuse of the Earthrise mold, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, at least people deserve to get it in the Toon Deco. And I do agree with you. I think Prowl needs to be updated, and the Earthrise mold is pretty long in the tooth, because the Earthrise mold is just a heavy retool of the Siege mold, and the Siege mold is 7 years old at this point. So that's kind of it's also kind of funny too. So it's like I was thinking earlier, like I got this set in today. I wasn't gonna make these my figure of the week or anything, but I got the Sandstorm and I forget what new name they're calling him, but it's just crazy that we're getting Combiner Wars molds in these Amazon packs, and they're how old now? I mean, they're going on. I mean, this mold I think is what? Did this come out in 2016? We just got the weird Wolf remold, and I know that one definitely came out in 2016. It's just kind of nuts that we're getting 10-year-old figures repackaged and repainted. So yeah, I don't think they called him Slugslinger, but I forget what new name they used. Let me check on Amazon here, because now I'm like, wow, what in the world was his new name that they gave him? Of course, I'm going through my orders, and Amazon doesn't show the. So yeah, they're calling this. Oh no, it is. They still called him Slugslinger. For whatever reason, I thought they changed his name to something else, but no, he's still Slugslinger. But it's just kind of funny that all these years later, they're giving us. Well, that was odd. I don't know why it froze. Like my whole restream froze, but we're still live. I think this is a good place to wrap up. Yeah, it's just kind of strange that we're getting like 10-year-old molds, and they're not upping the price. No, I guess they have because of inflation, but just a little unprecedented with getting them. But anyway, enough rambling about that. I still am working on getting the collection tour updated now that I've got my prime shelf reorganized a little bit. I'm gonna have to put it back on there. I want to get that up. So yeah, again, I know this has been a little bit of a longer episode, half hour longer, but I appreciate everybody that hung in there. It's been cool hanging out with everybody this evening, and yeah. I was the same. I was like talking, and all of a sudden my internet, my like restream just went away. I was like, "What the heck?" Fortunately, it doesn't end the stream when that happens. But yeah, and yeah, I guess it's the same up there. I mean, I think they took your targets away too up in Canada. But yeah, I really don't understand like why they don't allocate pre-orders correctly. Like if you're pre-ordering something, just be like, hey, you might not get it on release date, but we're going to honor your pre-order. I think that's something that needs to happen. But yeah, it is frustrating all over it seems. But yeah, it's a good place to wrap up. And as I mentioned, I want to get that collection tour out before I go on vacation. We're going to have Lance in town at the end of August. So we'll probably do a in-person stream together. That'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully this time, getting people together for a meetup isn't going to be like, me on Facebook, telling people, no, it's today, or on TFW. I'm going to give people even more of a lead-in time. And I'm not making a reservation this time. It's just going to be people that want to come can come, and then watch. I won't make a reservation, and it'll be packed. But looking forward to doing another meetup at the end of August. I've got my family vacation coming up, so I'll be here next Tuesday. But the following Tuesday, I'll be out on vacation. So hopefully I don't miss any big news during that time. But it's much needed vacation. I am so ready to. I'm so ready to go. Hit the beach and relax, and just get some sun. So, yeah, man. Anyway, I hope all of you guys and gals have a great week ahead, and hope you enjoyed what we talked about tonight. If you're watching me on the replay, thank you so much, and do leave a comment. I do check out the comments. I love interacting with people in the comments. So if there's anything you saw at SDCC that you're really excited about, let me know. I want to know. And until next time, Zero out. Hope you guys have a great one.